Hello viewers, welcome back to Ohio Airgun Shooter. In this video, I'm going to be doing some testing with my RWS or Diana Model 34 in 22 caliber. This is a break barrel pellet rifle. It has the T05 trigger. It's an older model. The testing today is more or less going to involve this XRadar Chronograph, which according to the instructions reads up to 698 feet per second. I want to test that. See if it will read maybe just a tad above that. Well, we're going to go ahead and see that. I'm going to test out some pellets here. We'll start with these. Well, we're going to start with the Cro-Magnums. These are heavier. They're 18.21 grain. I'm going to shoot one of these, or maybe two. It's been sitting a little while. Can't remember when I last maybe oiled it, but sometimes, depending on how it sits, sometimes the oils will run into the compression chamber, and it will cause dieseling. So I'm gonna use a heavier pellet to kind of control the first couple of shots to take care of that, and then I'm gonna try some of these JSB exact pellets, 15.89 grain, to get an average velocity of what this is shooting at, because I want to test out these a couple of these RWS hyper velocities. If I go over to 698, it's going to be with this. So we're going to go ahead and test that out. Again, I'll be using the XRadar Chronograph. I also have my other chronograph set up down there, so that we can kind of see what the number is. If this does read the 000, if it's going over that 698. So that's more or less what this test is just about today. It's about this XRadar Chronograph, which reads up to 698 feet per second. So let me get set up, get everything turned on, and we'll start the test. All right, first up, we'll use the Cro-Magnum H&N 18.21 grains. They're a hollow point. They're heavier. They're about the heaviest that I will shoot in this. It does help with initial dieseling, or you might get slight detonation just due to the kind of oil you might use. Again, it is a break barrel. It does have an automatic safety. I won't use the XRadar for this, just that way you can just kind of get. We'll just use the my other chronograph just to get your initial readings. And this may be a dieseling velocity, but we'll see here. Move back a little bit further. All right, safety off. First, 674.4 feet per second. So that's a little higher. So that was definitely a dieseling, maybe a slight detonation. So let me try one more. That's pretty high. Let's try another one. Might be some smoke coming out of the end of the barrel. Let me see. Yep, a little bit there. Had a little bit of a detonation. All right. Try another one. This one will probably be a bit slower. All right, where we at? Try to load it into the rear sight there. All right. Smell that one. Whew. Had some heat. All right. Number 2. $644.1. So that was a little better. All right. We'll do the JSB exacts, 15.89 grains. So this should be more along the norm. So we'll shoot a couple of these as well. Tell you what, we'll get 3. 2 and 3. All right. 643.0. $644.1. One more. This is untuned. It's just factory stocked as is when I bought it many years ago. All right. 637.5. So that's about your average probably. That's again with 15.89 grain. JSB exacts. So let's try some of these RWS hypervelocities. We'll probably break into the 700s. I don't know if we'll even hit the 8, but we'll see. I'll shoot 3 of these as well. Now for the RWS hypervelocities, I will be using my XRadar Chronograph as well to see if it will read above the 698. Alright, already have one loaded up. Your rifle's already been cocked, so let's see. I don't know how accurate this will be. Ready? 685.5. That only read 670. Let's try another one. Quite a difference in reading between inside the barrel as to the distance from the muzzle to the chronograph, so maybe you're getting a bit more of a jump in velocity from here to there. All right, shot number 2. 736.0. That one went over to 0, so all right, let's try one more. So it probably did not read over the 698 then. I probably. All right. I just wonder if it will read that initial 698 and then stop, or just give you the 3 zeros. So all right, let's try it again. Last one. 648.0 and then another 000. So it's not reading over the 698. So the highest I got on this was a 696. So anything over that is 000. So whoa, you know, it was over the 700s, 740s. So it will not read over the 698. I'm going to move up to these lead silver bears. These are 12.65 grains. Let's see how well they shoot in the RWS Model 34. For these, I will also use the XRadar Chronograph. $737.2, 000. So it won't read over to 698. A couple more. Set 773.6, 696. So maybe at max, sometimes it will max out or just read slightly slower, and then you'll get a reading on this. But then if it's over, it just goes to 000. So let's try one more. All right, last one. I'm gonna try right here. Well, no, we'll go here because I want to be as closest to the end of the muzzle as I can get here. I mean, I could probably try reading it just in front of the muzzle, see if that works. Let me try that. No, 781.7 down there, and then another 696. So it's not even hitting the 698. So it must max out at 696. So that's with the lighter 12.65 grain lead. So these are pretty good. I want to shoot in a Springer. I mean, something, you know, much lighter than this. I mean, those lighter Gamma Raptor PBAs or even these Skenkos, personally, I just think that's too light for a Springer. It just doesn't allow as much of a, you know, kind of a cushion of air when it bottoms out, you know, to shoot the pellet. So I just, to me, it just, it's more like maybe like dry firing a Springer, which is kind of bad. But I just kind of wanted to do this test using the XRadar Chronograph to see, you know, if it will read above the 698. Actually, I didn't even hit it. It just goes to, it tops out at 696. So I'm pretty sure it did say 698. Let me double check on the instructions. I mean, I don't know how accurate it is, you know, going through a thick barrel like this compared to, you know, it's recommended for paintball markers, airsoft guns. So let's take a look here. It says here 698 feet per second. So we already maxed out at 696. So yeah, right here, velocity range 150 to 698 feet per second. So, and only max I got was a 696. So just a little testing with the RWS Model 34 using both the XRadar Chronograph, my other Amazon bought generic chronograph, using some different pellets. Started out the Cro Magnum, the heaviest, then the 15.89 grain JSB, and then I put the 10 for the, oh, here they are, RWS Hypervelocity. These are from Skenko. And then, of course, the Silver Bear, 12.65 grain, 10.3 grain, 18.21 grain, and then 15.89 grain. So you can see the different velocities in the RWS Model 34. If you're wondering, this is this mount I have here is a UTG. It's a droop, a barrel droop, compensating scope mount. It mounts onto the top rail. You don't have to remove the rear screw. There's a little piece that hangs over the front of the rail, which makes it very stable. It has 3 Allen screws on the side here. It does have a hole where you can, and it does have a locking pin as well. I believe you can lock it down even more, but it's supposed to compensate for your barrel droop. Now this one was originally bought for a side lever, which, you know, just it's more or less designed for that one compared to the brake barrel, but I installed it on this and it seems to work just fine as well. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.